Well, hello there. Welcome once more to Kwankyewaa's kitchen. And if this is your first time stopping by, I'd like to say a very warm welcome to you. Fried fish lovers, gather here. This recipe is just so perfect. I know for sure you're going to love it. The fish is fragrant, it is soft on the inside, a little bit crispy on the outside, and just absolutely delicious. So I'm going to start off by cleaning my fish. They came individually wrapped, so I'm going to get them out of the plastic wrap first. I'm going to start off by removing the fins from my fish, and I'm using my scissors to just trim it, which is easier and faster, just like this. So this particular fish comes partially cleaned. As you could see, I had to still remove the fins. The gills has been removed, most of the scale has also been removed, but there's always a little bit that is stuck on it that you don't want to fry your fish with. So I'm trying to remove those scales, especially from the back of the head. And then once that is thoroughly clean, you can go ahead and say that your fish is really cleaned. Otherwise, when you fry it, all those scales was just going to puff up and it's just going to be sticking on your fish. And that is not presentable or desirable. So definitely try to make sure there's no scale on it, even if it says it's pre-cleaned, before you go ahead. Now that I've removed the scales, I'm going to remove the gill cover or the flap. If you really like, you can also trim off the mouth, but I'm going to leave the mouth of my fish today. So I'm done cleaning both of them. At this point, I'm going to just rinse it off thoroughly. And sometimes a little bit of the fish blood just settles in the belly after the guts is removed. So that's what I'm just trying to use my scissors to scrape off, which came off easily. And now I'm just going to just set that aside. It's rinsed. And then I'm going to clean this other one as well. I'm looking to come out with a very clean smelling and tasting fish, so I'm using a lemon which I've cut up to just clean my fish. So I squeeze the juices of the lemon onto my fish. Now I'm using the halves to just rub around the fish to make sure that it is very clean. And this way your fish is going to come out not smelling too fishy, if I can say that. Especially when you're going to be frying it indoors, you want to try to eliminate as much of the odors as possible. So I'm done doing this. I'm going to give my fish one final rinse, and at this point I can say that my fish has been very well cleaned and ready to be cut up and fried. They are a little bit wet, so I'm going to pat them dry just to make sure that it is perfect for frying. So just like this. And now that they are thoroughly dried, I'm going to go ahead and cut it up. And of course, you want to cut it up according to the portions you want your fish to come in. And once I'm done cutting them up, I'm just going to score it a little bit just like this. This allows it to just fry a little bit crispier. And of course, the marinade or the seasoning is going to seep into your fish a lot better this way. The middle part, of course, has two open ends already, so I just make one incision into it. So is the head, since it has all those openings. And that is pretty much it. I cut the other one up as well, scored them as well. And now I'm just going to transfer them into my bowl to get them marinated. Alright, let's season our fish. To start, I'm going to add some salt to this. Generous amount. You want it to be very, very well seasoned. I've added some onion powder. Now I'm adding just a little bit of ginger powder as well. You want this to have a little kick of spice. Some black pepper as well. And just a little bit of cayenne pepper. Well, I hope you are getting the drift at this point. You know this is red snapper, riri, bougie fish, okay? It has to live up to its name. At the end of the day, when it's served, it has to be tasty, look perfect, just as you would expect red snapper to be. So I'm going to make sure that every part of it is well seasoned, and with that, I'm going to make sure I'm rubbing some of my marinade into all cavities, as you can just see me do. So the head part and everything, make sure that it is very, very well covered with your marinade. This is just perfection. Okay, and at this point, when I'm done with it, I'm just going to set it aside and then start heating my oil. This is fish. It doesn't need that much time to marinate, but of course you can let it sit a while in your fridge just to let the flavors mingle and sip in a little bit more. But this is enough marinade on it that I can just go ahead and fry this, and it's going to be perfect anyway. We are going to be deep frying the fish, so I have some oil here in my pan. It is just about heating up. I'm adding in here some few sprigs of rosemary. This way it's going to infuse all the fragrance into the oil before it even starts to heat up. The fish is going to end up being tastier, smell good, and of course the aroma in your house is going to be a little bit less fishy. I'm going to add a little bit of flour to my fish just to give it a little bit of coating. This is what is going to bring that crispiness to the outer part of your fish. So very little dusting of flour is all I added in here, and because it has a little bit of moisture, it's going to cling to it, and that is just going to be the perfect way you want it to be. So I'm adding just a little extra dusting of flour, and at this point I think it's perfect. I'm just going to make sure that it is well covered onto my fish and just wait for my oil to be heated up, and then we can go ahead and fry it. Very simple. I've poked some holes into these 2 Fresno chilies. I'm going to add them in my oil. They infuse just beautiful fragrances into your fish or your meat when you have them in the oil. And right after I did that, I'm going to start frying my fish. So it's going to just heat up and infuse as the fish fries. Of course, you want the oil to be very, very hot, sizzling hot before you start introducing your fish into it, because otherwise the fish is going to soak up some of that oil, and you don't want that. We want this fish to come out perfect, very, very crispy on the outside, a little bit juicy or moist in the inside, but you don't want the juices to be the oil. No, you don't want it to be filled with oil. Once your fish has fried for about 5 to 6 minutes, you want to go ahead and start flipping them or turning them so the other side gets to cook as well. Tasty. After frying the other side for about 4 minutes, I like to just go ahead and be turning my fish just to give every part of it a little bit of crispiness to it. So you want to make sure that the parts that were not laying directly into the oil get a chance to also fry up beautifully and golden. And that is pretty much it. All it takes is about 10 to 12 minutes. Your fish is perfectly fried. And now I'm just going to transfer them onto a plate lined with paper towel, and then I'll go ahead and fry the other parts that I didn't get to fry. But just look at how gorgeous this is. As you can see, it looks very plump. It is no way dry. Very, very crispy on the outside. The aromas here. This is fried fish, but my house is not smelling terrible because the rosemary and of course the peppers is taking care of some of that. This is just perfect. You will love this, I know for sure. I'm going to fry the head parts now. I normally leave that for the last because sometimes they just bring out some juices that change the color of your fish. So if I've cut them into portions, I always try to fry the head part last. And today they turned out perfect, but it's always good to err on the side of caution. So I'm going to bring them out of the oil at this point. It is perfectly fried also. Just look at how beautiful this is. Very, very quick, very simple, but everybody is going to know that there is a little bit of something different about this fish, okay? And that is what we aim to achieve. You want people to wonder, what did she put in there? What could it be? And as you saw, these are very simple ingredients, all natural, very good for you, but look at the result. And of course, we are going to have this with a little bit of kwankyewaa, because kwankyewaa and fried fish, yeah, perfect combination. Kindly hit that like button for me, and I'll be very honored if you will share this video as well. And until I come your way next time with something delicious, be loving, be kind, be happy.